Welcome to Heart Magic Wisdom. Today's title is I Don't Believe in Flat Earth, But. And here I want to share some thoughts that I had a few months back when NASA did the Artemis 2 space mission. And they flew around the moon in 10 days or something. And when they came back, they released very edited footage. And it's interesting to me because it's very different from what I would have done if my goals were to bring people together in the pursuit of truth, or just to help the world better understand nature. I mean, I guess the understanding of nature is the entire mission of science and the mission of NASA. I mean, officially at least. And what I would have done is I would have given every astronaut a body cam, and then I would have released the entire 10 times 24 hours of footage. And additionally, I would have put more cameras in there, and I would have released all the footage unedited. So because any sort of person who's at home and trying to make sense of the data, if we get like 10 or 20 different live stream cameras, but at least of the 4 astronauts, and it's 240 hours times 4 of video of cameras that are filming each other, then the conclusion that I would draw at this point, with my assumption of what technology is capable of right now, is that it's harder to fake all of this thousands of hours of camera footage combined than it would be to fake the entire mission. So this would give a lot of credibility to the footage. And it would also give credibility to the organization, because now it feels like they are doing this stuff, these missions in the interest of getting data, and now the public can decide what they make of the data. Because the problem with all of these institutions is that we always get, along with the data, we get an opinion. And for example, it's the same thing in quantum mechanics, which I also spent some time looking into. And you can't get any live footage of the quantum experiments. It's always just diagrams and papers, and the papers already start with the scientific assumptions of what this all means. And for me, as a skeptic, what I would really like is just have a very clear separation of the setup of the experiment and the result of the experiment and the conclusions that you draw. And I would really like to see some video, because there's some very few rare pictures where they just show a picture of the experiment setup. But why is there no videos? And these are institutions that have billions of funding, at least millions, and they have the expensive equipment, sure, so we can't maybe try it at home. But can't they just do what everyone else does and just stream the entire thing, or at least record the entire thing and then just release the entire footage? And because they don't do this, it's clear to me that the trust in any of these institutions is at basically zero, because they don't act like how they would act if their interest was to help us find the truth. They don't act like this. They act like institutions who want to hide their work from the public, probably because if people knew what they were doing and how little they were doing, there would be less funding or no funding for them at all. But yeah, so I don't really have trust in most of these institutions. And obviously, I think since 2020, almost nobody has any trust in any institutions. So I really understand where the flat earthers are coming from. I mean, in this case, I just don't see it like they see it. But it doesn't mean that I have trust in the institutions. It just means, even though I think the institutions are deceptive in many ways, it just makes more sense to me if the earth was round. And I don't really specifically want to go into this. I think this video is more about the declining trust in authority, declining trust in institutions, and how the institutions are just not giving us what they could, because every new business, every new person who's into some sort of exploration or science, the first thing that I would do if I did any of this is I would stream all of it. I would give all the data to the public. And the institutions do what they always do. They act like they are like an authority and they tell you what it all means instead of telling you what they do and what they found. And it's still not changing. So it's 2026 and the collective perception is changing, but NASA still doesn't live stream or just record the entire footage and release the entire footage. So yeah, what do you think about this? What do you trust? What do you think these institutions are doing? Let me know. Thank you for watching and see you soon.